guessed it, we're at Maddie's house. Good morning. It is now 7:10. I woke up around 6 a.m. Didn't sleep very well as I went to bed rather late, much later than I usually go. I shoot for 10:30, but decided to watch Dress Up Darling. Although in the past I have watched anime before I slept. I watch it in my Christmas light. I have them around my window at home, so it's very low light, but I had the lamp on next to me here at Maddie's mom's house. Hi, Maddie. So because of that, I think my brain was like, oh, you don't need to go to bed yet. It's too bright in here. I could be making up stuff, but I felt like a little antsy and I had a hard time falling asleep. I did eventually, but it wasn't until very late. And I was also up shopping. I think it's called Auntie's, I forgot, I'm so sorry. It's a shop where they make custom handbags, but inspired by anime. So you had like Demon Slayer inspired anime bags, which, yeah. So I bought that because the shop was going to be open at midnight, and if it wasn't because of my beauty intel, I would have completely forgotten. So I shopped, and then I tried to read a little manga before I went to bed, and I eventually started to feel like the tiredness, if you will, but didn't really get enough rest. I know that for sure. But despite me going to bed later than usual, it's always recommended that you still wake up at your usual time, which my time is 6, even if you feel like you're gonna die. And I do find that I feel much better if I have to take a nap later than go back to bed now and wake up at like 8, 9 o'clock. That's when I'm totally off, feel very sluggish, not energetic at all. So I'm gonna try to push through. I'm actually thinking about doing a little bit of training, and I do have my class today. I have 2 classes. I have my 11 a.m. and I also have my Stretch It app live classes that I do for them. And those are a lot of fun. Every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern on our IG or their IG live, I'll teach a half-hour stretch class. So it could be splits for beginners. Today we're doing full body recovery. And those are always up through the weekend, so if you can't make the live and you want to watch the replay, you can. I believe like up until Monday. And I was contemplating, should I train, should I rest, but I'm not doing something so strenuous that I don't think is going to be detrimental to my whatever. It's very rare that I have nights like this, so you know, and again, I don't want to go back to bed. I just, as much as like I feel like I should, because Lydia, you didn't get enough rest, I'd rather just take a nap later. Or maybe I will take a nap later and I'll have to wait till evening time to try this again. So if I do train today, I'll bring you with me. If I don't, I'll let you know. Bye, Maddie. I'm gonna go train, okay? You gonna take care of Gojo and Nanami for me? You laying on my boys, so alright, I wanna leave that to you. You're the best. We did all the exercises. Are you happy to see me? Are you happy? Are you happy to see me? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, here she comes. Here she comes. Completed some training. It wasn't my best because I definitely felt lower energy. And yes, I didn't have breakfast yet, but that's not it. It's because of my sleep. I've had days where I hit the weights harder without having anything to eat before. Sleep is very important, fam, but it's all good. I still wanted to do something just to, you know, give my body a chance to get stronger, sweat a little bit. It's good for the brain. Exercise is excellent for the brain. Canova. These dog toys with the luxury alcohol brands is hilarious. I would love to grab a cappuccino. One of my most favorite things to do is just to go grab a cappuccino and walk it back. I think what I'll do first is have my bone broth, and then I'll go grab the cappuccino, come back, and have my first meal of the day. I'm back on soft boiled eggs. I was doing scrambled eggs for a few months and then I just switched. I don't know why, I just allowed my taste buds to steer me, if you will. But that's what I've been doing. It's just so much easier. Also, I like the soft boiled option because I like the yolk to still be runny. That ensures that the nutrients in the yolk are still intact and they're not cooked to death, which I don't overcook my scrambled eggs anyway. I love a soft scramble, but I think it's better nutritionally for me to have them this way. So I actually have them sitting out so that they're not cold when you put them in boiling water and they'll crack. We don't want that. Although that's my method. I bring the water up to a boil and then I'll put the eggs in the water and let them boil for 6 minutes and 30 seconds. 6:30, 6:45 is like the sweet spot for me. But some people put them in cold water, put up the boil, but I don't. It's so hard to tell how to time that. Let me know your soft boiling egg tips down below, fam. But let's get this bone broth going. We had our bone broth, we had our 3 eggs, tin of sardines, and next up, I know, got my health code. This portion of the video is not sponsored, but I am an affiliate with Health Code, and I always like to share, you know, tools that help me sustain a nutrition-rich lifestyle. It's all about staying satisfied, and having foods that are high in protein and fat is crucial. But I understand life can be real sometimes. When it comes to changing your eating habits, changing habits that you have done over the course of several years, it's like an ebb and flow type of a process, right? So if you have tools to help you stay on track, I think it's much easier to make these small changes over time. And what do I mean by that? Well, I was one to always eat out, buy breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and not one to always cook my food. Now, what I just had, you know, boiled eggs and sardines, it wasn't like a gourmet meal, but back when I was figuring out how to change my eating, this is from Dutch Meadow Farms, A2 raw milk. It was tough to get out of like those expectations of every meal had to be, you know, sprinkled with a little bit of parsley on top. And that didn't necessarily have to be the case. I think when I learned that I could just have a steak and not have to have it with a fancy sauce or something and just make it and eat it. But at the same time, it doesn't have to be super fancy to still be delicious and vital for my nutritional needs. All that to say, if I encounter a moment of my day where I need to eat, I don't want to get it from the outside. I don't want something that, Yes, the powders are processed. This is processed food, absolutely. But if I had to choose between having this or something from outside, I'm gonna have this. But there are some people who don't need to have this because they cook all their meals. And that's what I appreciate about the founders of Health Code. They even say like, hey, you might not even need to use our protein powders, and that's totally fine. But when I was transitioning, not only changing the foods that I was eating, but also my palate was changing. It takes patience, it takes understanding for myself, and how I used to eat versus how I eat now, drastically different. But it took me a few years, and this played a huge role in me just maintaining, not so much, again, staying on a diet, because this is not a diet. This is completely like a lifestyle habit that I've developed. In developing long-term habits, I think along the way, you introduce foods into your routine that just kind of catapult you into the right direction. And maybe down the road, I'll stop using Health Code because I found that I didn't need it anymore, or I eat enough of the right foods during my meals so I don't feel hungry or whatnot. But I think it's just great to have something supplementary. This is considered a replacement meal, so it's not a protein powder that you can add to different things. But ever since I upped my protein, my body composition has improved, my strength training has improved, and just my energy levels are more stable throughout the day. So thank you, thanks Health Code. And then I'll get the cappuccino. I also need to take Maddie out for like a late morning bathroom break, so the cappuccino. Checking in at 1:30. I walked Maddie around 10, and we had a good bathroom break, and went to, well, okay, hold on, this is what happened. We ate breakfast, and I decided to take Maddie out on a quick walk. Upon returning, I felt it right to take a little nap, which was welcomed. I felt nice after 20 minutes. I lied on the mattress on the bed with my feet up on the pillows and covered my eyes just to kind of like tinker out for a bit. Taught class, my barefoot body conditioning, and the full body recovery IG Live for Stretch It app. I decided to just get my cappuccino, but unfortunately, my first destination was closed due to an emergency. So I hope the employees or whatever happened, everyone's fine. So I walked back, which was fine because I needed to go to Whole Foods anyway to get some ghee because I want to make some popcorn later. We're gonna make some popcorn. We're gonna make some popcorn. Walking back, I stopped over at Method Climbing. They have they're a climbing gym, but they have a cafe. And 1:30 is probably like my threshold point. I try to not do, or I try to count 8 hours from when I have it so that my sleep isn't interrupted. Tummy rubs, tummy rubs. Hey, hey, hey. Pause up, pause up. We got Nanami on. We also have, Inosuke on. I'm all decked out in Kaiben Zero right now. This is just what I wear all the time now. I'm in a state of just chilling out. I do want to stretch later because I did not stretch after training. I just came back to the apartment, started making breakfast, which is fine. I also woke up with a really stiff, I feel it in my neck, but I think it's in my middle back. It's an old injury that, unfortunately, if I do something weird when I get up, I was trying to crack something, so I squeezed myself, and that made the pain erupt. What makes me feel better about it is that the more I move it, the better it feels. So it's not neurological, which is fantastic. But certain things like looking up kills. All that to say, I think I'm just going to actually answer some YouTube comments. I want to plan some content, so I'm working on a project Can't reveal anything now. It's more in the fitness sphere, so yeah, no, I'm not coming out with any new makeup. Very sorry. But it's a project I'm working on, and I want to prepare my content to film for next week. I was supposed to film some today. You know what? Sometimes you just have to realize if you want to be excellent and you're not feeling excellent, it's not gonna look excellent. I'm feeling a little subpar right now. In combination with the tough night and just starting my day fairly early, I taught. Although I didn't film any content for YouTube, it's okay. I didn't want to bring my camera, mic, and everything over when I'm just here for the weekend. You know, that's kind of crazy. So that's something I also want to do. I want to prepare content ideas for next week. So we got to cover YouTube ideas. We also have to cover secret project ideas. And also want to catch up on my journaling. I have to cover my last 2 days that I didn't. Yeah, how does that sound? So I saw season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen again because I finally understand the power system. If you watch Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm not sure if you ran into the issue that I did where Gege Akutami, the mangaka for Jujutsu Kaisen, that's the author of the Jujutsu manga, is very complicated. Very clever. So clever that I feel stupid. Thank you to all the anime Jujutsu Kaisen analysis videos I have watched. If it wasn't for them, I would still be really confused. And when you are unsure of something, when you don't understand the concept, you don't enjoy what you're watching as much. And I think that's what was happening when I first saw Jujutsu Kaisen. I couldn't really sink my teeth into it because I was trying so hard to figure out what was happening that I really couldn't enjoy the characters and everything about them. So now that I truly understand curse energy, the difference between curse energy, innate curse techniques, learnable curse techniques, curse special grade, curse spirits, what's special grade, the different, like the grading system and all that. Anyway, I understand Nanami's technique, the 7-3 ratio curse technique. It's pretty cool. But at first I didn't. So now that I kind of spent time in fully understanding the Jujutsu Kaisen power system, I rewatched season 1 and just enjoyed the hell out of it this time around. And I think season 2 is slated to arrive sometime next year. In comparison to Demon Slayer, I just hold them differently. In terms of the artwork too, like Gege's artwork is so, it's like raw and edgy, it's sketchy, it's messy, it almost looks unfinished. And Broken Ronin did an incredible video, I thought, about people's perspective on the artwork where they don't like it, they think it's actually too messy and too ugly, where he makes the case that that's the point. Like, you can tell Gege's artwork from different ones because it's so unique to Gege. I mean, these fight scenes jump off the page, and I'm so happy Mappa picked Jujutsu up because I think they're a great animation studio to produce the same feel that you find in the manga artwork, and I think it is adapted beautifully. Now Demon Slayer, I think Demon Slayer is more beautiful aesthetic wise than Jujutsu Kaisen. It's not as complicated. It's shonen, it's like really great shonen, well done. And people put it to a fault saying it's too basic, it's too simple. Well, when simple is really done well, like, you can't help but be a fan. And I think also this allows opportunities to sink into the details. Like, I could not when I watched Jujutsu Kaisen for the first time. I'm going on an anime rant. I'm not sure if you noticed that already. You probably clicked off the video by now. I'm so sorry. But because Demon Slayer is so simple, I can better appreciate the character development, these like little details here and there that really illuminate the experience for me. And forget it, Ufotable's animation for season 2 was just god tier. Yeah, people are like, well, it's popular because of the animation. Well, usually when a manga is adapted to an animation, that's what the audience is looking forward to. Like, why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it be exciting? Like, I don't get that argument at all. And with Attack on Titan, I have not done a get ready with me talking about Attack on Titan because it's a lot, and I have to take notes for that one. Demon Slayer I could talk about off the cuff, but I can't with Attack on Titan because there are so many details about that anime, and it's very multi-layered. It's not that it's complex. I would consider Jujutsu Kaisen to be more complex than Attack on Titan in terms of the power system. I think Attack on Titan is more about the story and paying attention to the plot and how there definitely is a little, it's like a war story. It's a war story for me. It's not an action anime, although there are amazing action moments in there. I mean, with Levi Ackerman against the Beast Titan, one of the best, you know, that sequence between him and Kenny when Levi was being chased, amazing. And I think that wasn't MAPPA, that was another studio that did the animation. I'm not quite sure. But there were, you know, Attack on Titan had their action moments, but they weren't, I wouldn't categorize it as an action anime. I would feel that's better for Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer, which I would say Demon Slayer, the music for me is phenomenal. Jujutsu feels like I'm listening to like video game music sometimes. It's cool. I like the opening. I like the second opening better. The sound design for the fights, it has a more robust feel to it because there's a lot of hand-to-hand combat in Jujutsu Kaisen, and the design and the sound design that is used for that choreography, I mean, is robust for sure. So thanks for coming to my anime dead talk. I'm going to read some manga. I'm going to chill out. Then I'm going to start getting dinner ready. Today we're having salmon and scallops because I had frozen salmon and frozen scallops. So I'm gonna make that later, and I think, no, not think, I'm gonna make the popcorn, okay? So I'm gonna make popcorn. I'm gonna have some cottage cheese and fruit. You're like, ew, cottage cheese, I know, I like it. It's high in protein, so I'm gonna have it. Does that sound like a plan? Well, I'll see you in the kitchen, fam. Minor casualties with the salmon. The pan was way too hot, but we got some crispy skin. And then I fried the scallops all in ghee, just with some salt. Oh, wait a minute. I almost forgot to put on my herby chimichurri sauce. Now, unfortunately, this does have sunflower oil. I wish it didn't. It has the extra virgin olive oil and everything else looks great, but I wish they didn't include the sunflower oil. In terms of condiments, I like salty, vinegary versus sweet. Although I used to like sweet a lot. Try to get away from that and just have my sweetness with fruit and things that actually are good sweet. You know, I don't want to waste my sweet points on freaking condiments and sauces, you know what I mean? So this is great. I actually put this on my steak as well. I put it on my steak last night, fantastic. And I know I could make my own. I just needed a quick solution. Sure, I could have bought the ingredients. Ooh, it is smoky in here. I gotta open the door so I could get a little bit of the smoke out. Saturday at Maddie's house. Wrapping up, it's around 5:37. We had dinner. We're stretching. Maddie, you stretching? Had the popcorn, delicious, nice with the ghee. I used to do coconut oil. I mean, I could do either. I just wanted to buy the ghee because I already have coconut oil at home. Yeah. One thing about this place is the skyline. It's just so beautiful, and it leaves me speechless when the day turned. And I think this perhaps is my most favorite part of the day, twilight. It just cues the dialing down, and I've been very adamant about honoring the change of light that occurs outside to then assimilate that inside, meaning if I still work on a device, to dim it down, to maybe go on a warmer light scheme so it's not so heavy on the blue, not have as many lights on around, and if any lights are on, have it be just a lamp or use candles. Be careful when you're using candles, of course, proceed with caution. And I found that helps to down-regulate me in a way that's not forceful, especially when I start that process when, again, around this time, be it February, it will change as we get deeper into the summer months here in the Northeast. I love getting ready for bed. What can I say? Although last night, as I had mentioned at the top of the video, different from how I usually like to spend my evening. I know better now. Don't watch anime before you go to bed. So maybe I'll read some manga instead. Something not so stimulating, like maybe I'll read Jiu-Jitsu again because I'm rereading that manga again, as I had mentioned before. Now that I have a better understanding of it, I am rereading it to catch more of the details and just have a better overall experience. Gotta take a shower, and I gotta take this little one out again for her evening walk, which will be around like 8:30, so we still have time. I like to do some handstands. I like to do some more stretching. I'm excited to now get into the mode of rest, to shut it down and get ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow I have class as well, and I'm going home, so I think the earlier part of tonight will be spent gathering my things so that tomorrow morning I don't have to spend so much time packing. Although I don't have a lot of stuff, but I'm gonna tighten the loose ends a little bit. So I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Can't wait to see you in the comments, fam. And of course, Maddie says goodbye as well. See you in the next one, and until then, take care.